Hey, what's going on? Ryan here with Intersection Records, and we're going to talk about the Metallica concert last night from St. Louis, Missouri at the Dome. Opened up with Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen, and Pantera, and it was a fabulous night. I had not seen Metallica since the Black Album. It had been 31 years, and man, I've wanted to go over the years. I just kind of got into different music over time. I'm so glad I went last night again. They played at the Dome, where this team, the St. Louis Rams, used to play, and then the NFL effed us and moved them to LA. So the football stadium's empty, and it's now a great concert venue. Where maybe before, I think they've kind of juiced it up so that it sounds better in there than it did years ago. Let's talk about this show. I took my son, who's 11, and my buddy Kevin, who you've seen on my shows. By the way, subscribe to my channel. We do shows every single day. I'm a big Wolfgang Van Halen fan. They're touring their second album, so they're doing opening slots on the nights that Pantera opens. And in between shows, they're also picking up clubs in Indianapolis and Grand Rapids. And so they're doing a full-blown tour as well, Minneapolis, Fifth Avenue. They opened up with another celebration at the end of the world from their new album, Mammoth WVH2, which is one of my favorite songs. They went into You're to Blame off their first record, Mammoth. This is in the round in a football stadium. They actually had a drum kit, and he was the only, of all the guitar players all night, he's the only one that had an amplifier on stage. All the other sound was wireless, but he had his signature Wolfgang guitar and his father's EVH amplifiers. He sounded great. His voice is great. His band is good. It's a quartet. They were rocking. Great drummer, great second guitar player. Wolfie is a fantastic guitar player in his own right. Some of the signature tapping that his father does. They did It's All Right off the new record. Like a Pastime off the new record, which I love. Take a Bow off the new record, which I love. When the lights are over, take a bow. It's over. When the lights all faded, take a bow. It's over for me. Down, 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 wow, down. Really cool. And then they closed out with Don't Back Down. We went and got a t-shirt. We came back during the first song of the Pantera set. I have never seen Pantera. I've never seen Phil Anselmo live or Rex Brown. I've actually never even seen Zakk Wylde with Ozzy or Frankie Banali on drums, who was from Anthrax. So the band, is reunited after the, Vinny and Dimebag have passed away, unfortunately. They have the blessing of the family. Pantera is back, and they were great. They opened up with they played 11 songs. A New Level, Mouth for War, Strength Beyond Strength, I'm Broken. They then did a tribute to Dimebag and Vinny, where they showed videos during the playing of Cemetery Gates. One of my takeaways on this show, one of my takeaways in the whole night is the confidence and the edge of Phil Anselmo as a vocalist. He's running around with shorts on and no shoes on and, just dominating. He's funny. He's walking the edge of being too cocky and also being appreciative. At one point he kind of went like this, there's somebody in the crowd that he thought wasn't having a good time, but then he's funny too. He's charismatic. He's screaming. It's all energy and rage. My son says, I think he's got anger issues. They did 5 Minutes Alone, This Love, Fucking Hostile, Walk. They did Domination, Hollow, and then, of course, closed out with Cowboys from Hell. Zakk Wylde was fantastic. Just some of those squeals and I was talking to my buddy Joe Schnell. He, you might know him as Rock and Roll Joe. He, just really blown away by Frankie on drums. Just the cohesiveness of this band. You're not gonna get this behemoth back together unless you're tightly gripped, and they were. Like Joe said, hopefully we see them in a smaller venue. a long break. And by the way, again, we're in a round, and there's people inside the middle, and there's like a 45-minute break between Pantera and Metallica. There's no drum set there's nothing on the stage. Nothing. And we're like, how in the world are they going to get this drum set without anybody noticing? The lights go down. They play Long Way to the Top to Rock and Roll by AC/DC through the speakers and get the crowd start pumping up. They play another song, show some videos, and then they play, and there's a drum kit. And again, we have the kind of what's become the definitive lineup of this era of Metallica, certainly, with Trujillo on bass, and Lars Ulrich, and Kurt Hammett, and James. James Hetfield was so good, spot on vocally, just running through these, notes and progressions while he's singing. It was a huge takeaway, just how good of a front man, like Wolfie and Pantera, they were just grateful to be there, yet still edgy. Opened up with Creeping Death off of Right Lightning. Harvester of Sorrows was next off of Injustice for All. Holier Than Thou off the Black Album was next. My son's fading. This concert's been pounding and pounding and pounding. But I got my boy Kevin here. We're rocking. Kevin's never seen the band. It's just a revelation. We're like, this is 4 guys making all this noise. This isn't Maiden with 6 guys. Yeah, the sound quality. We were in the 400 level of a dome. So think about the back of the end zone of a football stadium. It sounded perfect. I'll put a picture up maybe that shows you the configuration from where we were. They had these big, huge standards with lights on them and video screens all around this stage. The drum kit would rotate after every 4 songs to a different part of the round stage, so that every area of the venue could see a little bit closer. I can't imagine being up as close as some people were. Memory Remains off of Reload was next. Kind of a cool song. I like the new record. I've reviewed it. Check out my channel and subscribe. I know that old school Metallica people, it's not heavy enough for them. I like Lux Eternal. I think it's cool. Too Far Gone was next, also off the new record. It works for me. But then Fade to Black was next off of Ride the Lightning. Kurt Hammett is the owner of a Les Paul, a 1959 famous guitar called Greenie that was owned by Peter Green, original Fleetwood Mac. He wrote Black Magic Woman on it, Albatross, Green Man Alishi. Just great song. Oh Well, Rattlesnake Shake. That guitar was then transferred to Gary Moore, who played in Thin Lizzy with it and other things, and his band Skid Row, which not to be confused with Skid Row from the States. And now Kurt spent a little less than $2 million on this about 10, 15 years ago. He's playing that Les Paul all night, plus he's playing his signature other guitars, one with a mummy on it. He's spot on. He is just spot on all night. Fade to Black was a huge highlight for me. Shadows Fall was next, again off the new record. Orion was next off of Master of Puppets, just to see that song. Again, see the interplay with the 2 guitar players, Hetfield and Kurt. You just really realizing, man, I'm seeing this band at the kind of at their height still. I mean, this is a band that's been around for 40 years, and they're still crushing it. Just fantastic. We had a couple songs off the Black Album next. Nothing Else Matters, Sad But True. Cool songs. The Day That Never Comes is next off of Death Magnetic. It was hard for me to place that one. Then Hardwired off Hardwired was next. Fuel off Reload. Seek and Destroy off of Kill 'Em All. We thought that was going to be the last song, but then they busted into Master of Puppets. These balls had dropped at this point. These huge balls with a yellow and black kind of emblem of the new album, and James is kicking it, and Master of Puppets. They do a wonderful version of that. At the end, all 4 guys take the mic. Lars takes the mic and really says, we've been playing here for 40 years and 40 plus years, and talked about Fletcher's. One of our buddies, Chuck Taylor, great bass player and friend, he did a street side record signing with them in '85, then went to Fletcher's and saw them. So Lars kind of gave a history of Metallica's history in St. Louis. Just cool guys. I mean, the takeaway of the whole night, it's hard to unpeel the onion on what you just took in from seeing the first major tour of Wolfie, to seeing a reunited Pantera, to see Metallica at full flight. I mean, just the sound quality of these stadium shows nowadays is just off the hook. Anyway, that's my story. I had a great night. My son's still in bed. Kevin's probably still in bed. I hope everybody else had a good time. Peace out. We'll catch you later.